Lovely. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all in the chat. My name's Amy from the Wakelet team, and thank you all so much for joining us for our monthly Wakelet community showcase. As you know, probably one of my favorite sessions. It's a great opportunity to hear from our wonderful community, some really special educators about how they're using Wakelet. So shine light on all of their creativity and their ideas. So I know there's lots to look forward to, but before we do, I just wanted to let you know that if you do, for whatever reason, need to jump off, don't worry. We'll be making the link and making this available on our YouTube channel as soon as it finishes, so you'll be able to catch up should you need to. We'll also send you out a link with any resources that are shared as well. So when our speakers are sharing any kind of links, we'll be putting them in the chat and putting them in the comments so you can look along as well. But don't worry, if you do miss any, we'll make sure that they are sent to you afterwards. We also have that wonderful certificate of attendance as well, so you can use that for your PD evidence and to showcase on social as well. So we'll make sure you have the link to that towards the end of the session. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I'll kick off in just a moment, but just a few hellos. I can see Anna on there. Hi, Anna. Hossein there. Hi, Hossein. Lolo there. And Amal from Egypt, Citizen there. Hi, Citizen from Ghana. Lovely to see so many of you from all over. Lots of familiar names in there as well, which is fantastic to see. So thank you so much for joining. But yeah, we're going to get started. We've got two wonderful guests joining us today, and I know. Well, I'm very much looking forward to hearing from them. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to bring our two guests, Kumar and Laurie, onto the stage. Hi, Kumar. Hi, Laurie. How are you both?
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. I know there's lots of things that you guys are going to share, which is fantastic. And I know everyone's looking forward to it. But we'll just do a little round just before we kick off, just to introduce yourselves to everyone we have in the chat here. So, Kumar, starting with you. Yeah, just a little bit about yourself.
Hi. I'm a district technology specialist in the western suburbs of Chicagoland in Illinois. I service three schools that are in my district, as well as the district office. So 4 buildings, but 3 with schools.
Busy then. And Laurie, over to you.
Yeah, I'm Laurie Guillen. I am the coordinator for model schools at a BOCES in upstate New York. We are Washington, Saratoga, Warren, Hamilton, and Essex BOCES. And I'm also a capital region director for NICEGATE, our New York affiliate of for computers and technology and education. I do training with them as well. Within my BOCES, we service 31 school districts, and I'm in charge of doing any professional learning around the use of educational technology. And I'm also a new author of a book called Smile Learning, Leveraging the Power of Educational Technology. So that's an exciting new thing that's happened for me recently.
Fantastic. Yeah, it looks incredible, and I can't wait for you to share a little bit more about that later and let everyone know about it as well. But for now, we're going to jump backstage, being you, Laurie, and Kumar. We're going to stay on the stage. Over to you. So yeah, have fun.
All right. Thank you. All right. Hi, everyone. Give me one moment as I can present here. Apologies. I'm hoping you're able to see my screen at this point. There we go.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're all
so,
good, Kumar. We can see it.
Excellent. Thank you. The bit.ly, if you're using a smartphone, is in the upper left corner of almost every slide. It could be in the upper right corner, depending on if you're able to see this or not. Or you can type in that bit.ly in your own web browser if you'd like to follow along. So I am Kumar. My handle is @GeekTalkTeacher on Twitter, on Instagram, on Wakelet. And I'm going to jump in here. So I am a district technology specialist for Westchester Public School District 92.5. You can see everything that I do listed there. And this is my 16th year in education, former ELA teacher, former STEAM teacher, coding teacher, and then now I'm a technology specialist. So thank you for partaking. My table of contents today is going to be hopefully a couple minutes on each of these topics. covering what is Wakelet in case you're new to it. I'm guessing you're not because you're here. And then some integrations with Canva, title images, which Amy will correct me probably later because I'm not sure if using the correct terminology for what I'll showcase. YouTube, maybe showcasing different agendas, and then any wishes or questions we have at the end. All right, so let's get into it. As far as the Wakelet presentation, Wakelet gives their own, and this is what I didn't want to do. I have the template version linked over here, but it looks like this. There we go. This, I believe, Amy, is an older template, but if you're just new to Wakelet and you want to know more about what it does, or if you're looking to showcase this with your staff or with your buildings or even with your grade level teams or content area teams, Wakelet has a very handy pre-made presentation that allows you to get more information on what the tool is and different offerings that it provides, including how students can use it, how tech coaches and librarians can use it. So it makes it usable to more than just teachers. I found, I'm going to probably butcher her name a little bit, Michelle Ali's Wakelet, and she inspired me to add a little bit to my own. So if you're able to click on this once you have access, it's neat to see a Wakelet about Wakelet. She went through a good portion of this. Here we go. This is the newer EDU presentation that Wakelet has, so you can file, make a copy for that. A breakdown of what is Wakelet, why you'd want to use it, resources that are available, links, the extension for Wakelet, etc. So I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I wanted you to have it as a resource if you're looking for it. And then I would be remiss to say there are EDU coach resources. So if you are a little bit invested in Wakelet and you're looking to go for a deeper dive, if you're in this coaches area, Tisha's a fantastic resource to follow. There's always new and captivating, interesting content that Wakelet puts out. So in case you didn't know that was available, it is there for you. All right. So I'm going to jump past this because I think most of us that are tuning in know what Wakelet is, just in case you need to showcase to anyone else. All right. So to start out, Canva, did you know that you can search for Wakelet headers in Canva? If you just go to canva.com and you search Wakelet headers, anytime you're looking to create your own collection, you have options that are already here preset that you can just click on. I'm going to randomly choose, customize, and then I can make this, instead of Mr. Garcia's, I can make this Mr. Cayasta's 5th grade class. I can share it, I can download it, I can upload it to my Wakelet collection. It's very simple and easy to do. In case you didn't know that we had that as an option, there you go.
Kindergartners, if you have open gym, please head on down right now
Sorry.
to the gym with Mrs. Del Piero. Thank you.
Wakelet title images. So this is where, Amy, if I'm incorrect, if I'm using the wrong terminology, please correct me. For some of you, you may not need to change this, but I'm going to showcase two different examples. So one of the Wakelets that I have within a tech group is what gear other instructional and technology coaches that are traveling might need. So we put together what we thought was most important: a backpack, charging, chargers, laptop stands, etc. What is great about this is the layout that I have allows users or audience members to go through, maybe to see an image. That's if the website provided an image. And then a brief description that I'm able to modify and change. So like, for instance, I put in why it's cheap, it's portable, it allows staff. So I get to put my own wording in here. What I don't love about it sometimes is the tile. If you notice, these are all Amazon links, so it's very dry. It's not very engaging to audience members. If you need an example of why maybe to change it. So this is a different link that I have on workflow management. So like some articles, they come up with their own, I forgot what title images. They come up with their own title images. I don't know if that's the right word, but I have within my district sometimes Google Docs that I need to share, and they come up with a generic backdrop that to me doesn't really visually showcase the difference between one Google Doc link and another Google Doc link. So what I did is I came up with these tiles that I created in Google Slides. My guess is you can create something very similar in Canva, but at the moment I had Slides handy and I've already been using it. So this is what I do. I just change the backdrop of my slide, the content of whatever the title would be, and then I like putting in my image and my handle just in case an outsider were to be looking at things. So that's within the Techficiency tips that I have as a separate Wakelet, but it allows people to more easily find how to showcase and locate things. If I go to the next slide, I found that when trying to modify or create my own Wakelet title images, that the dimensions of the slide that I end up using need to be 7.5 by 5.63 inches. The reason being, here's the template link. Oops. So if you want to use this, I provided a template link for all of you. I want to go to my actual one, so I apologize. It looks like this. So what I can do, if I wanted to add content or anything, I can literally just type, and then I just copy and paste each slide. I like changing the background of each one so that I can easily tell that this is a different area or a different showcase topic that I'm highlighting. And all I need to do if it was updating Windows devices or creating staff websites is you'd go to File, Download, and then I find that PNG, JPEG works as well. Either one ends up working, and then I would go back to my Wakelet and I can modify and customize what I am creatively calling the title images. I'm not sure, like I said, if that's correct, but this is what I use. All right. Another way that you can utilize Wakelet is for YouTube. So you can house and modify YouTube videos within Wakelet. So I've got some pros and cons with this. So let's take a look. So in case you didn't know, because I am a technology specialist, if you wanted to shorten and modify a YouTube link. So for instance, this, if I hit play, this is a video that I made about the Keep Awake extension. So if I click on it, it's going to take me to YouTube. And in this case, it didn't end up playing an ad for me, but most of the time, if you end up showcasing a YouTube link, it does. So if you wanted to get rid of this for your students or even for your staff members, if you take any YouTube video and put a hyphen between the T and the U, it allows it so that it opens in a full screen without any ads. But you can achieve similar results for your students if you throw it in a Wakelet. So that's exactly what I did with this one. This was our scavenger hunt for the fall. So I had QR codes around our building with teachers. So here, I'll just show you real quick so you understand what we're looking at. This was the sheet that we had given out to parents and students. And then this was my answer sheet, right? Around the building was a QR code with an image, and the students had to associate the image of what was like seen on the picture to the content in the word in terms of vocabulary with the QR code. What is helpful here is if I want to showcase this to my administration or even to another teacher that's coming up to try and do something similar, I can house multiple artifacts of different file types within this one Wakelet. So if my administrator were to come to me today and say, hey, I would like the slide deck that you used, boom, I have it right here. What videos did you use with the teachers? So in this case, I titled the word around the teacher. So the word that they'd be looking for would be thermos, and then this teacher's video gives them a hint. jacket. This teacher's video gives them a hint. But what's nice is if I hit play on any of these teachers, so here I'll hit play on this one. It doesn't give me any ad. So I'm able to go through and hit play, and again, there won't be an ad. I don't have to waste time going through it. So I just wanted to share, this was another way to utilize Wakelet that I haven't always used in the past, but I thought it was a neat way to use it. All right, agendas. So I had, when I was a classroom teacher, an agenda that looked like this. It loads. Oh, I'm sorry, I did my template again. If you all want it, I have it there for you. I had an agenda that looks like this. So this is literally classroom teacher, ELA me. I would create one box for the week of fill in the blank. And I would put a new box for every week. And I would change the color of the background. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I would literally type this in as we go. I know this one's a couple years old because I'm no longer a classroom teacher. I had my class code for Google Classroom, told my students always have your earbuds. If there's any links or whatnot, I would put in for the kids to locate. What I find a bit cumbersome in my old way of doing things, is if you notice, I had my 7.3, my 7.2, and depending on the day, my 7.1 class, all had to kind of go through and figure out what it is that they're looking at. For the most part, my 3 classes were on task about the same. But there are days where I would have to break down. I'm trying to find an example here, where 7.3 end up having to do something different than the other 2 class periods. If I were to go back and change my life all over again, I would still create an agenda like this, but I would make one for 7.1, a separate agenda doc for 7.2, and a different one for my 3rd or whatever classes your nomenclature is. I would house that within one Wakelet, and then you don't have to worry about students reading the wrong classes materials or reading the wrong assignments that they need to put in. I do need to throw props out to Jen Lieben because as a technology coach and a technology specialist, she's an ITC as well. I don't know why this isn't, there you go. The format in which her Wakelet looks, she provides newsletters to her staff and students, and I just absolutely love how streamlined this looks. So she has it down by month, and this is something similar what I might end up doing using that classroom agenda. I would create one new collection for each class, and that way if I'm let's say this is 7th grade or 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, each grouping of students is able to click on what is pertinent to them. You could also do this when it comes down to school buildings. You could do this when it comes down to grade level teams. It's nice to house it all in one location. And then another great thing is if you have this, you never have to go back and say, where in my drive or where in my computer is this resource, because you have it all housed in one collection or one location. Okay, my Wakelet wishes, I think I'm burning through my presentation here, is as far as I know, when I search within a collection, I'm able to find content. But if I'm searching through all of my collections for a certain keyword, I don't think that Wakelet yet has the capability. So that would be my one Wakelet wish. So I'm kind of wondering if any of you want to throw in the chat, if you have any Wakelet wishes or any more ways that Wakelet can streamline what it is that they're doing or improve what they're doing, which is fantastic, by the way, then that would be one of the things that I would suggest. I went through this very quickly, so I'm going to now ask if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Kumar. I can't see any questions coming through just yet, but yeah, just please do put any feedback points, any questions, any Wakelet wishes in there. I love that. And search is definitely something the team are looking at making even better to find that wonderful content that you've put together. So yeah, definitely one. Who's saying there, I like all the Wakelet features, fantastic. But yeah, we always welcome the feedback. We always welcome any questions as well. So please let us know. But no, what a brilliant presentation, Kumar. Thank you so much for sharing. And it was a really good like overview of like all the little tips and tricks that no one really like always knows about, particularly with like changing the sort of the card images, the header images that you're speaking about, kind of using the ones, because it doesn't, like you say, always pull through one from the website or from your Google slide. So making them, you know, stand out and different, so you know exactly what you're clicking on, is really nice there. We have got a couple of feedback. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. May I ask you, is there a name for that?
So I call it the card images. So each item or card, yeah, and then but yours is great as well.
Okay, so, thank you.
Yeah, so each item in a collection, and that item image or card image, content image, yeah. But yes, I suppose you could do a few different words, but yeah, editing that image that it pulls through as well, just to make it even clearer. And to put your own kind of spin on it as well. I really like that you have the different colors. That's how kind of you like to work with it. And if you're sharing that out with teachers and students, it just makes it easier for them to find that content and understand what you're trying to share with them as well, which is nice. I was just seeing a couple of feedback points coming through from Carissa about sort of folders for collections, which is a really cool way. Yeah, we have spaces which can kind of be, well, collaborative, but also a really good organizational side of things and tool as well. So sometimes I know I particularly use them sometimes I kind of as a folder system, but yeah, having those within collections might be really interesting as well. So yeah, always to make organization even better, we want to hear them. So thank you so much. I really love that you highlighted the YouTube integration there as well, because again, there's nothing more annoying than the ads sometimes popping up. So particularly if you're doing a presentation, so you don't want that to happen. So no, it's fantastic to see you highlight that one as well. And yeah, I agree. A big shout out to Jen Lieben there as well, another fantastic ambassador who yeah, creates those beautiful newsletters as well. And I see how that could definitely work with agendas there. So thank you so much for sharing those as well.
Thank you for allowing me to participate.
No, it's brilliant. A few more sort of comments and things like that coming through, so I'll let you catch up with those sort of in the background. But yeah, a few feedback points coming through, but we'd love to see it. But thank you so much, Kumar, for sharing and for all of your ideas there as well. And everyone, make sure you just check out that presentation. We put the link in that chat. But like I said, if you do need to jump off, we'll be sharing it around with everyone as well in a collection. So yeah. We'll make sure that's shared with everyone. But for now, Kumar, we'll bring you back on in just a little bit. But for now, thank you so much. And yeah, we'll speak to you in a moment.
Appreciate it.
Fantastic. So we do have another wonderful speaker joining us today as well. So we have Laurie. Hi, Laurie. How are you?
I'm doing great. That was lots of information, a lot of really good tips. I love the YouTube tip with putting the little hyphen in there to get the you know, the ads out of there. That's always a really important thing to do.
Nice. Yeah, lots of good tips there. But yeah, for now, over to you. I know you have some great things to share as well, so I'm gonna jump off and let you go. Thanks so much, Laurie.
Great, thanks. All right, thank you. Yep, give me a moment to share my screen. Let's see which screen it wants me to share. There we go. All right, can you see my screen?
I can indeed. Okay. Yeah, all good.
Okay, good. I see it too. There we go. All right. So every different machine that you use or a different program always comes out a little different. So you always want to make sure that you can see it. So I'm going to kind of hop off of what Kumar kind of did, or kind of take you to that some other ideas, or kind of expand on what he talked about, because he had some great ones as well. I'm here on my Wakelet page. I created a different grouping, or a different collection, I should say, to kind of walk you through how I use Wakelet. And I I mentioned at the beginning, I'll mention it again. I do professional learning. So most of what you're going to see today are things from conferences, actual workshops that I've done, different collections and resources that I've kind of put together. Definitely something you can use with students too. I just don't have direct access to students as much. It's kind of like Kumar said, his is a lot of resources that are for each other or for us to share amongst each other. So the QR code is on there so you can have a copy of the presentation. I know that it was being put into the chat as well. So let me hop in and kind of walk you through the navigation of what I see or what you see on your screen. You do have the collections, which is what I have today to kind of show with you, but you're going to also see some spaces. So you'll see I have a whole bunch of different spaces down the left-hand side. Some of them are ones that I've created, some are ones that I follow, but they're just resources that I have accumulated over time as I've been using Wakelet. And I do agree, it's just an amazing resource to be able to put everything together and organize things in a really neat way. I was never very good at folders. I know somebody said they would love folders, and I think I'm going to show you how I kind of organize things as I go through. That can kind of be folder-like, and maybe that will help solve that thought that you had. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of these different collections. I'm going to start with the conferences, and then I'll go on to workshops and so on. What I do every time I'm going to a conference, I tend to present multiple times. So to make it easy for when I'm presenting, kind of like today, I create a collection for the actual conference. So we just had one back in March that was down in Watkins Glen, which is in New York. It's in New York, right on the Finger Lakes, beautiful area. If you ever get a chance to visit. But what I did was all the presentations that I used for that day, I put them on one Wakelet collection. So I only have one thing to share out so that all of the information is here. So pretty basic one. I did 4 sessions. There are 4 different things that are listed on this Wakelet. And I did this again at FETC too, but this one I set up a little bit different. FETC was multiple days. So what I was able to do was break it down by what you would see from me each day that I was at the conference. I'll do this again when I go to ISTE. That way, again, I have all of my resources in one place. And quite honestly, for me, it helps me out when I'm actually going to present, because it's a place for me to grab what I need instead of having to go through all my tabs. Because if you're like me, you probably have 50 tabs open, and finding what you need can be difficult. So you see each one, I'm able to put the date that it was. It shows me how many items are in each one. So I know I presented twice on Monday, once on Tuesday, and so on. And then below that are each of the different workshop presentations that I would offer. And then I often will do something where here's how you get in touch with me, or this one was some freebies I was giving away at the conference. So you can see different ways to use this as far as what you're going to need when you're going to conferences. I also sometimes participate in Wakelet collections at conferences where we share all the different resources that we attend. That way you can get the resources for more than the one session that you're going to, which can be very helpful. Moving on to workshops, and this is really where I do a lot between workshops and resources, probably where I spend the most time on Wakelet doing different things. So the one I did at FETC was one on professional learning. So it was all about how to create professional learning experiences. That's my job. It's what I do every day. I've been doing this for quite some time. So I wanted to share how I organize and how I put together different professional learning experiences. And this one I actually created as a space. And the reason I did that was I wanted to be able to have this sidebar that you see. Oh, and my screen didn't change. Let me unshare and share again, because I'm seeing that my screen didn't change. Maybe I need to share it differently. Hang on one second. Entire screen. That's what I did wrong. My apologies. I did that totally wrong there. All right. So hopefully you're seeing, there it goes. Okay. So now you're seeing what I see. Okay, so this is the professional learning spaces that I created around a PD. It was a workshop that I hosted at FETC for a couple hours. And why I like the spaces is that you do get this sidebar navigation. So it feels more like a website in a way, but it allows you to be able to go through the different collections, and you organize them on the back end. And they look different on the back end. So if I click on creating professional spaces on my spaces tab, so I'm going to click over there, I'm going to see everything all at once. But the public facing side is going to look a little bit different. This is what it does with spaces. It then organizes it for you. You decide which categories you're going to put them through as you're organizing your PD. So As people were coming into the workshop, they all would go, they'd scan the QR code, because QR codes everywhere, that you can grab right in Wakelet. If you don't know where they are, if you click on share, your QR code is going to be right listed right on the side. So they got right in, did a getting to know you activity while I was greeting people at the door. And then once we were able to get started, I went to the engage part, which is where I had them do different activities. So the where you start, you can see there's 22 items in here. What I did is I would organize it by category. I tell them to start. They would look at the directions on the left-hand side, and then they would go over to the Explore. And within the Explore, I gave them some different presentations that I did on different platforms. The whole time they're learning Wakelet as a platform, so I don't show them one there. I just let them experience it as a student there. But they can go through and look at the different platforms, the different ideas that I have in that second column. Once they've done some exploring, then I want to get some feedback from them. So that's the third column you see here, where they have to reflect. And here, people that were at the conference were able to say, "Oh, I want to try this out," or "I have a question about this," and it lets me know where to go next as I'm going through the training session. And then after we do the engage, then I brought them out to some other professional learning presentations to kind of continue on and look at some more, and then have some time to start to build where they want to build. So this is more of just like a resource page of different presentations, so they can see different ways to organize. And you can see that as you're pulling things into Wakelet, it loads differently based on the website that you're going at. And Kumar mentioned that as well. One of my favorites ones, as far as the ways they work together, is Genially. If you're not familiar with Genially, it's a lot like a Canva, where you have the ability to create really interactive presentations, but they have some amazing templates for gamification and breakouts and that sort of thing. But they work really well within Wakelet, because you'll notice there's a 3-dot menu on this Wakelet, or this Genially rather, within the Wakelet. If I click on the 3 dots, I can make it big to make it go full screen. And so I can then look at this presentation. When I hit escape, I come right back to the Wakelet. No new tabs are open. I don't get lost in all of my different tabs as I'm going through. It keeps it housed right within the Wakelet collection, which makes me very happy. So once we do that kind of activity, then we went into the Explore and Explain, and then eventually we get to the Reflect and Extend, which, depending on how long it goes, sometimes we get to, sometimes we don't. But you can see that each of the organizational presentations are set up so that it gives you that free exploration as you're going through, based on the resources that you want to share. So that's one way that I've set up actual professional learning within Wakelet. Another way that we've set it up is through asynchronous courses. So I can actually go down to this Getting to Know Nearpod one. So we out of our BOCES, we offer in-person, we offer webinars, and we offer asynchronous training. And I love to build them on Wakelet because it gives me a framework that makes it easy to follow. So I'll click on this one that's Getting to Know Nearpod. And again, I have a start here that's going to give them the information that they need. And then they're going to go and follow the numbers as they go through. So the second column, they're going to click on each of the resources that are in that column. When they're done with that column, they move to the third, and so on. So again, it's set up so that they're going through the course asynchronously. Wherever they would like, they can hit the check to make sure that they've finished it. That's their way to say, I'm done with this part. And then at the end, there's a creation spot where they're going to share the activity that they created on a Wakelet, so it becomes a resource for everyone that takes the course. So it's a really great way to organize it. This just happens to be one of them. We have many that we set up this way, but it's a really easy way for us to keep all of the resources organized, and it helps people to be able to see the order. They each get their own copy of this Wakelet as they go through with the resources available to them. So I have all those in that second column. Moving on to the third column in the resources. Now, this is where being in the PD world, we're always sharing resources. Well, here in New York, we have new computer science and digital fluency standards. These are brand new for our teachers to implement into their classroom. So there's been a lot of professional learning over the past couple of years to get people ready for these standards. They don't have to be fully implemented until September of 2024. So really, we've been doing train the trainers. We've been doing community events. We've been doing a lot of like what it looks like in the elementary classroom, the social studies classroom or whatnot. And I had all these resources and I needed a place to put them, and Wakelet Spaces worked out really well for me. So you'll see that again on my left-hand toolbar, the computer science one. If I click on it, it's going to open it up and it just looks like a lot of collections, right? But the public profile looks very different. So if I click on that public profile again, you're going to see that, again, everything is incredibly organized, kind of like folders, where I have each of the categories of the standards listed on the side. So in New York, our standards are broken down into 5 concept areas: impacts of computing, computational thinking, networks and systems design, cybersecurity, and digital literacy. So that's how I set up the collection. So each of the collections on the space are broken down into, here's impacts of computing, you'll get full lessons on it, and then you'll get resources. So if I click on impacts of computing, you're going to see the Google Slides, and then you're going to see all of the different presentations, workshops, information that talks about impacts of computing on our society and our ethics and our accessibility and career paths. You'll see resources that we suggest are great for you to use in your classroom. But it's a great way for us to organize a lot of data, a lot of information. If I go back a section, what we do next to it, though, is after we go through any training, if teachers have things they want to share, so they have a resource that they would like to share, we have some crowdsourced ones. This one is open to the public, so anyone can add to it. So this one isn't just a view only, this is one where they can actually do work on it. And then this continues for each of the concept areas. And then when I get into digital literacy, I have a third one. I did an expert webinar with ISTE called the Digit Toolkit. And with this one, I wanted to share all of the resources in one spot. So I created a collection, but I've then added it to this space. So that way you'd have the information all in one space. So again, if I click out onto this toolkit, you'll see some resources, you'll see some presentations, you'll see some activities you can do with students, anything that I feel can really help you with digital citizenship in the classroom, even people that I follow that I think are really important people to follow. Here's a collection from Dr. Kristen Matson. She's with EdVolve with Lindsay, or Leanne Lindsay, where they talk about digital citizenship and looking at a really great framework for digital citizenship in every classroom. So all the resources are in one place as we're going through there. And then continuing on within the same group, I have what I call my other section. So this is all of the other collections that people have asked for that I've been able to put together into this one space for them. So again, they get this one link to this one Wakelet space, and then all the collections are inside. So every presentation I've ever done on computer science and digital fluency, I put them all in. You can see there's 37 different resources in here. So these are all PD sessions that I've hosted that's going to help you out to make sure that you can do these standards in your classroom. So then they become great resources for you after the fact. And then next to that one, if I scroll back down again, which I could just click on other resources to get there, all of my lessons that I've done on Nearpod, I'm able to put right into the Nearpod collection. So you click and add those lessons right to your Nearpod library. So again, it's all organized for me. And then I have them based on subjects as well, based on requests from different teachers. And then to kind of round it out, we have some different activities that are available. So I have sample activities, which are going to bring you out to different activities you can do within each of the concept areas that you see across the top. And then I even have in here some of the like things you can do as far as some playful ideas and so on as you're going through. So lots of resources in here, lots of ways to put your collections together. But for me, it's a really great way for me to organize a lot of information. So it's really been helpful for me as a place to kind of put everything, but it also becomes a nice organization for the people that need to gather that information. And then what's nice about it is you can really put anything in here. So I've got some book creator links. This is to an actual book. These are to a whole shelf of books. This one's a Nearpod. So you can see that anything you want to add can go in so simply into a Wakelet collection. So it works out really well. I do love using the spaces because it does organize everything in one place for me. Just to go back out to the collection that we started with, because I kind of got buried in the resources. That's the first one I shared here. I did another one on the intersection of media literacy, digital literacy, and computer science. So same concept here, but again, it's conference resources, but it's not just a bunch of different presentations, but one presentation, all the resources I shared in there. I've created different resource packages, such as staff meetings can be fun, kind of one. So it's so user friendly that it makes it fun. Years ago, I worked with Michael Drezick. I don't know if you know him. He's an amazing ed tech coach from Western New York. He and I collaborated. I think this was 2019. And we did Ed Tech the Halls around the holidays, where we each took we took every letter of the alphabet, and we put in our favorite tech tools for that letter. And what was neat was within Wakelet, you're able to kind of organize it the way you want. So we created the collections in a program called Buncee, which is another great, like a Canva or Adobe or Genially, where you can create really cool presentations and slides. Very kid friendly. I'm a huge user of Buncee as well. But what we did is we put each of the collections with the letter being the front that you would see as you're going through. We created something similar to this for a couple of years. We did them, and I've included them in your resources so you can see them. But each of these will open up to another resource to give you an idea of our favorite tech tools. I think if we did it now, we'd have a whole new set. We'd have to, that would be kind of fun to go back through the alphabet with all the new technology that's out there. But you can do anything that you can think of, you can do within Wakelet. It works out really well for any way that you want to organize your resources. The only other thing I'm sharing with you today, but if there's questions, I haven't really been watching the chat, but if there's any questions, I can take them. But I did share in the last one my website. If you have questions or you need more resources or access to anything that I shared beyond today, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to share. But I'll turn it back to you. I was excited to share. I hope that you all took away some nugget of something that can work.
Thank you so much, Laura. Yes, lots of people in the chat just loving your organization, which it does look beautiful. Those spaces are pretty impressive. So thank you so much. And a few tech coaches in the chat there. So some really nice ideas that really resonate with them as well. So yeah, you can have a little look through the comments, but I know everyone was loving it. So thank you so much for sharing that. I love the tech tools one at the end there, the ed tech tools. That's so creative. I love that. And I think that's something really different that everyone can get involved in, but also a really good way of like sharing different tools with other teachers and your communities and things like that as well. So yeah, I really like that. But yeah, your spaces are beautiful. I love that you're using them for your conferences, because I'm a big believer in using it for your sort of conference curation, but I like that you were using it for your sessions as well. Having recently done some more in-person sessions and sort of been up there with my, getting all my resources ready and stuff like that. It can be a little bit daunting and having all those tabs open. So having one place where, that's your go-to, that's your kind of home place is really nice. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I also really like the getting to know Nearpod, how you've used the column layout there as well. I thought it was really, really great just to be able to have your teachers sort of work through that, almost like a course, but how you've woven in that sort of collaborative element as well. I think that's really nice to then give them an opportunity to work through it at their own pace, because I think that's really important when you're teaching a new tool, because everyone picks things up at different times and different paces as well. But then having that collaborative element, so you can kind of allow them to interact and reflect as well. It's really nice. I imagine your teachers like you doing it like that.
Yeah, you get a lot less questions as far as, like, how do I get through this? Or how do I know I've done everything? Because it's all organized in a way that they can kind of check it off as they've completed.
Yeah, fantastic. No, it is great to see. And so many different ideas, like I said, and having you share. And I loved all the graphics. Yeah, like I said, there was just a lot of love in the chat for the organization. I do love seeing a beautifully organized space. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I know there was a lot of ideas, and For everyone who was looking for the link and stuff, we popped that in the chat. So make sure you check out Laurie's profile and website there as well. And like I said, new book as well, which is very exciting. So check out all the links, and we'll make sure that that's shared round as well, so everyone can kind of catch up on those towards the end. At the end, but yeah, Jose was saying all useful features, 20 out of 20 out of 20, so fantastic. Kind of better than that. But, we're going to bring Kumar back on just to round things up for today. Thank you both so much for joining. Like I said, a lot of love in the chat there for everything that was shared, and it's always just a great way to you know, be inspired and hear from wonderful educators like yourself and how you're using Wakelet. It's really nice. Both of you really use those visual elements, which I really like. And I always think it just makes putting together things like that a lot more fun as well. But yeah, any final thoughts just before we jump off? If you want to round off with anything, Kumar, anything just to round up before we jump off?
I learned a lot from Laurie's Wakelet as well, and when I grow up, I want to be like her.
Thanks, Kumar.
You're welcome.
Fantastic. And Laurie, anything for yourself just before we round things up?
Yeah, I always say, you know, just try it. Either follow a collection or, you know, just start one and just see all of the good things that you can do. I think that you'll be amazed at how easy it is. Every time I come on, I feel like I learned something new. So, you know, there's just so much to it, and it's just so great.
Yeah, fantastic. And I'm the same. This is why I really do love these community showcase sessions, because it's, you know, every time I see a space in that way, or a course put out in that way, or, you know, like you with Kumar, putting your Google slides, you know, and making them more creative and kind of visual to look at as well, you know, it all generates loads more ideas. So I'm sure that everyone watching today has or will be leaving with lots of new and fresh ideas. So and we'd love to hear about them as well. So I've put that link to get your certificate in there. So if you complete that form, you'll get your certificate of attendance, and we'll also make sure that we share out a collection with all of those wonderful resources in there for you to have a look and take with you and be inspired even further. But for now, thank you so much, Kumar. Thank you so much, Laurie, for joining. And yeah, we'll see you next time. But thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.